I'm going to share my rapture dream. So I asked the Lord the night before to show me the rapture. I didn't think he would actually show me. So, in my dream, I was in a coffee shop with my dad and somebody. I'm not going to say who. So we were sitting at a round table. Me and my dad were sitting on one side, and that person was sitting across from us. And I had this urgency in my spirit to tell this person about Jesus. And in the way I was thinking is like, how could I not say anything? How can I not tell this person about Jesus? Like, if I truly loved them, how could I not tell them? So I told them to come to Jesus. I told them that Jesus loves them, and I told them to let him into their life. I also told them how much I'd hoped they would go to Jesus, but they just shook their head and they didn't accept him. They told me that they knew that they should, but they said they were saying, like, in a way, like, I'm happy for you though. I'm happy that you found Jesus, and like saying in a way like, oh, I look great and happy, but in a way that it wasn't for them. Jesus wasn't for them. But then they explained to me that, they kept saying like, maybe they would take Jesus later, because they wanted to do stuff first before accepting him, whatever that meant. Maybe like doing things that, I don't know. Anyways, but they said it in a way that they knew better. They knew better, and that they could do healing without Jesus. Like healing without Jesus in the picture. So basically just saying, I'll do it my own way without Jesus. I could do it. Like in that way. But yeah, I remember in my dream I was sad and disappointed. Like I was so low in my spirit. But before they left, I asked them, could I pray for you? And they said, yeah. So I grabbed both their hands like this, both their hands in my hands, and I prayed so hard. Well, I prayed that they would accept Jesus soon, and that they'd have a change of heart. And, I prayed against any deception, every lie of the enemy. I wanted them so bad to turn to Jesus. And I remember being in that coffee shop, and the workers that were the servers there and the people at the till, they were amazed that I was praying in public, like in the public space. And one of the waiters or one of the servers came up to us, and they were really encouraged. They were happy to see that there was this praying taking place. And yeah, and we all ended up leaving the coffee shop because I felt like the staff didn't want us there, because they weren't approving, or they were uncomfortable, I guess, with prayer. Yeah, so we left the coffee shop, me and my dad and this person, and I told that person before we parted ways, I told that person, I said, don't wait too long. I said, don't wait too long, because that sky is gonna crack open soon. That's what I said to them. But they just kind of chuckled, and they kind of just like, you're being too much, or don't be silly, you're silly, and then they went off their way like everything was normal, going about their day. And I just kind of watched them go. And yeah, and I was like, I just kind of said, okay, I did what I felt would give me peace. You know, I told him, oh, Jesus, I was obedient and whatever. So, yeah. So anyways, I was with my dad. And then me and my dad, we were on our way to Home Depot because I'm kind of doing DIY projects here in my place. And I've been working on some stuff like in my closet, my storage room and stuff like that. So I was getting little tools or nails or something. I don't know. It felt like we were putting something on a wall. I don't know what it was in my dream, but we're always working on stuff in here. So anyways, we're on our way to Home Depot. And I was talking to my dad as we were walking. And I told him stuff. I told him my out there thoughts. And he just kind of laughed at me. And yeah, he didn't know what to think of what I said. Anyways, we both laughed. And yeah, we got to the store. We walked into Home Depot. And the first thing I did is I went to the bathroom. I went to the restroom. I had to use the washroom. So I went to the restroom. And I used the restroom and I stood up, finished up. I finished up and then I heard this huge commotion through the store, throughout the store. And then I unlocked the stall. I was like wondering what's going on? What's that noise? I pushed open the door, and as soon as I stepped out of the stall, these angels came sweeping through the building. There were so many. And they kept repeating, it's lifting day. It's lifting day. It's lifting up day. It's lifting up today. And everything happened so fast. They swept me up in an instant. I was caught up with them from where I was standing in the bathroom. And I was swept up with them, like all the angels. And I looked over and I saw my dad was caught up as well. He was like being swept up by the angels too. And it was like they were collecting us, like they collected us. Like I didn't have time to think or even wash my hands. It was just scooped, like snatched, just like that. And the thoughts and the feeling of the angels was just pure excitement. It was excitement. It was joy. And yeah, and we got swept up. And then in an instant, we were going through buildings. The angels took me and my dad, and we were going through buildings, going through walls so fast. I could see different living rooms and stuff. We went up buildings, like going through the floors. I could see different living rooms, different bedrooms, different decor, different, like, it happened so fast, just like going on an elevator so fast, like super speed. And I believe that they were collecting other people too. I'm not sure. I think they were. And then in an instant, I was back here in my place. And my mom was home. And she was on the couch. And in a moment, for one moment, they put me and my dad down in front of my mom. And we, just for that moment, the angels were so happy for us. They were so happy for us. It was just pure joy. The angels actually filled up my home. They were all over. And the thing is that they knew us. They knew us. They knew us individually. Like, they looked at me individually as me, and they knew me. But they looked at my mom and my dad the same way too. Individually, my mom, they looked at her like they knew her. And they looked at my dad like they knew him. They knew us. And they looked at us as if we were so precious. Like, I felt such a love, so precious, more than we even think of ourselves. Like, part 2 of my rapture dream. So, in the moment, in my place here, in my home, me and my parents were standing there. I could feel the excitement. and the angels just looking at us with just love and looking at us like we were so precious, like so precious, individually precious, not precious as a family unit, but individually precious. And the feeling that they know us individually. I could feel the excitement. All of a sudden, I could feel the celebration, like the feeling of celebration coming from these angels, like an excitement, like it was so consuming. Like I felt fluttering in my body. I don't know what it was. Was it the wings? I think it might have been the wings, or it felt like it was starting to overtake me and my parents, like the celebration of something waiting. A celebration is waiting. And I was starting to breathe in such a way that I was like taking double breaths. Like, I can't even explain it. When you breathe normally, you're breathing, right? But for some reason, I was taking double breaths. And I could feel the excitement in my stomach and down my legs. I don't know why. And I felt like the angels, they've been waiting to collect us. They've been wanting to collect us. They were so excited. But standing there in that moment, a thought crossed my mind all of a sudden amidst the excitement. My mind came back to earth, I felt like. And a thought of completing one more home project here in my unit here crossed my mind. And I said, wait. Like that thought made me say, like, hold on. I want to go do this thing first before we go. And then I told him, I ended up turning to my dad. I said, Dad, let's go finish this one more thing first before we go. And me and my dad, we went down my hallway of my place here. And I grabbed a hammer and my dad got the nail. And I said, yeah, let's finish this one project first. But, I don't know what happened, but somehow, I don't know if it wasn't the angels or I think it might have been the angels. As I was holding my tool, they kind of gently just put my hand down. So I ended up putting down the hammer, and they did the same thing with my dad. Like, put down the hammer, put down the nail. And then, I can't tell if we did it ourselves or the angels guided our hands to do that. But all of a sudden, the feeling of needing to do anything else on this earth started to disappear. Everything here, in general, here on this earth, began to not matter anymore. It felt like it was melting away, like everything we were supposed to be doing or what we had planned to do or what we needed to do, it just started to melt away. It did not matter anymore. And when that melted away, the feeling of just pure excitement and pure joy just started to consume us. And the feeling of like, oh, we're gonna be quickly going somewhere. We're gonna be quickly going somewhere. And we're quickly gonna be meeting up for a really big celebration. Like a big celebration. And the feeling, it felt like we were gonna be meeting up with many, many others. And this celebration, I knew this celebration. It was like a banquet. And then in that instant, like a blink, like a flash, we were gone. Just like that, blink, we were gone with the angels. And as soon as that blink and we disappeared, I opened my eyes. I was in my room here. And when I woke up, I was still breathing like double breaths. I don't even know how to explain it. I was like, I can't even imitate it. It's like 2 breaths without exhaling. But I felt flutters in my body as I was sitting up. I felt flutters on my legs and my stomach, and I felt like I was going up. It was just pure excitement. And yeah, I got up, I jumped out of bed, and I was like, I have to write this down. So I wrote it down before I could forget every detail. Like, I didn't want to add anything, I didn't want to take anything away, and that's, yeah. But amidst that, like, after that, I thought back on the dream, and I could somehow, thinking back, I could somehow see that person that I told about Jesus. In the beginning of my dream, that person, somehow I was able to see that person amidst all this happening. I don't know how I could see them, but I could see them. I saw them. They were doing their usual routine. They were living their life. They were unaware with what happened. Like, and I could see them. But I didn't feel any grief. I didn't feel grief for this person because God didn't allow me to feel that. Because we were going to a place where grief was no more. It was almost like forgetting. Or rather, that total and complete joy was all there was. And another thing I remember is that the relationship between me and my parents changed. I can't even explain it. But it was good. It was great. It was just pure joy and excitement. But yeah, that was my rapture dream. Thanks for watching. God bless you.